אוקיי, ערב טוב ושלום לכולם. אנחנו נפגשים בעוד וובינר שבועי של אנרג'י קום, שמוקדש היום לנושא המימן, וינוהל ויובל על ידי דורית בנט. לפני כן רק שתי הקדמות. אחד, חלקכם שותף יחד עם צוות של אנרג'י קום בהכנת העבודות בנושא של אנרגיה וחבל תקומה, אז אני שמח לדווח שאנחנו בעצם הפצנו את המסמך שלנו לכל הגורמים הרלוונטיים, הן בגופים הממשלתיים והן ברחבי החבל עצמו למי שזה רלוונטי, ונכון לחודש ינואר אנחנו כרגע מתמקדים, כפי שהבטחנו שנעשה, באיתור של, הייתי אומר, מספר דו ספרתי, שזה נגיד בין 10 ל-12 פרויקטים ברמת המקרו שרלוונטיים לביצוע בחבל. אז לקראת סוף ינואר אנחנו כמובן נפרסם את הכל, אבל היה לי חשוב לדווח על מה אנחנו עושים באופן שוטף. אז זה נושא ראשון, וכרגיל נתחיל בסוף. בשבוע הבא הוובינר שלנו יוקדש למגמות חדשנות באנרגיה 2024, מה יפרוץ השנה ולאן ייטה השוק, ומי שתוביל את הוובינר בשבוע הבא תהיה צביה ברון. עד כאן דברי הפתיחה, ומפה דורית, בבקשה.
So I will pass to English. I don't know if Eduardo is here. I don't see him. Say hi if you are here. No, Eduardo.
No.
Okay. There are
Yes,
people...
hello, Dorit. I'm here.
Hi,
Can you hear me?
hi. Yes, I hear you. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm
No
passing...
problem, but if everybody is Israeli, you can go in Hebrew. My Hebrew is getting better every day.
No, because we want to say to show the RFI and to explain the Israeli Ministry of Energy RFI regarding hydrogen, and it is important for us that you will hear it also. So if we have audience speaking English speakers, so hi everyone, good evening. 28 to 29 February this year, after postponing the Eilat Renewable Energy Conference, so the conference will take place in Eilat in 28-29. If we'll have guests from abroad, so we will have a tour on the 27th. Towards this conference, that Eilat conference is dealing mostly with innovative future in energy, we want to make this webinar and to learn much more about the hydrogen, the potential of Israel being a player in the hydrogen arena and market, and what the hydrogen can provide us in our economy, what is the European vision about hydrogen, how we can take part on it. So first of all, I won't take any more time. I want Meshi Lux, you are here with us?
Yes.
Hi, Meshi. Yes.
Hi.
So Meshi from the Department of Strategy and Policy in the Ministry of Energy will explain us about the RFI that the ministry published a month ago, and on February, I think the due day is to send all the RFIs till the end of February, and we will be happy to hear about this RFI. So Meshi, please.
So I hope you can see my presentation. Just mark me if you do. The slides. Perfect. So thank you, EnergyCom community, for inviting me to present in the webinar. My name is Meshi Lux, Director of Policy and Innovation at the Strategy Division of the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure. On May 2023, the ministry published the Israel Hydrogen Strategy. You may have heard about it. The strategy was consolidated after a broad public consultation and as a part of an extensive examination for different technologies and approaches that can facilitate the energy sector's transition toward a low-carbon economy by 2050, while ensuring energy security and encouraging the growth of Israel's economy as set out in the ministry's long-term vision. One of the main conclusions from the strategy is promoting the establishment of Hydrogen Valley in Israel. So while Hydrogen Valley, besides the obvious goal of helping reducing GHG, I can see the slide. Oh, now you can see the slide. So Hydrogen Valley allows developing a knowledge and experimental hub for research, development, demonstration, and growth in various aspects by using innovative technologies for producing hydrogen, supplying the minimum national hydrogen demand, examining and adopting wide segments of regulation and standardization, especially regarding safety provisions, building training programs of dedicated personnel, and enabling a hydrogen market from a grassroots level to international economy. So the characteristics of the Hydrogen Valley based upon 6 segments. First, the Hydrogen Valley is located in a defined geographic area close by to the end users. It covers a significant portion of the hydrogen value chain from production and storage throughout transportation of the hydrogen into the end users, which are multiple and included sectors such as transportation, industry, electricity, and more. The technologies that are used in the Hydrogen Valley must be innovative with technology readiness level over 6, demonstration of the technology in a real environment, and classified as a beta type. The partnership will be in the Hydrogen Valley is cross sectors, including industry, startups, academy, government. The Hydrogen Valley will allow to establish the primary infrastructure for regional collaboration and international connectivity. The purpose of the RFI is to receive information and suggestions from any entity or a consortium of entities having experience and especially in the field, in order to examine the feasibility planning and the operating the facility. The information that received in the RFI will enable to formulate a hydrogen valley in Israel, one or more, in terms of implementing hydrogen in both infrastructure and commercial aspects, examining connection to industry, and informing regulatory adjustments and safety provisions. The RFI has a set of questions regarding existing in planning or suggested hydrogen valley. The first part is open questions with data about location of the hydrogen valley, who are the end users, what hydrogen technology is used, included CCUS if needed, storage options, hydrogen transportation to the end users, would it be liquid or gas, through pipelines or trucks, regulatory adjustments and special provisions, opportunity to international collaborations, and what are the challenges. The second part, the numeric questions, with reference to the open questions, will allow to conduct a techno-economic analysis and including number of hydrogen valleys, the plot size, production, input power, storage capacity, electricity generation, the efficiency of the technology, and the investments and finance. Questions regarding the RFI can be submitted through email by the end of January. The email to send it through is published in the RFI, and the responses to the RFI are be submitted with the Word and Excel sheet in Hebrew or English by the end of February. Thank you for your time. You can scan the QR and get into the RFI. And I'm done.
Mute.
Thank you, Meshi. We are really happy that the Ministry of Energy took out this RFI, and hopefully to send you as much as information you can have to have a good afterwards it's going to be a bid, right? After the RFI, you're going to submit a bid to hydrogen valleys in Israel?
This is the purpose, to get all the information, to formulate what will be the best hydrogen valley, how to make it. And then it will be
to take out a bid. What
Yeah.
is the schedule you think that the bid will be out? Or you
Dorit,
don't know?
I'll be a little bit more accurate about it. Jeanette from the
Okay, hi Janet.
So the RFI purpose is to help us to decide what will be the best way to promote a hydrogen valley. We don't know if it's going to be a bid yet or any other way. So right now the RFI will be helpful for us with the other ministries that will be involved, whether it's finance ministry or other ministries, to decide together what would be the best way to help to promote a hydrogen valley in Israel.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you,
Hi,
Janet. Thank you, Meshi. I want to
Wait, I
introduce.
have one little question.
Okay, and do it fast. You have time.
Okay, so do you know what is the expected budget for this under current circumstances?
I'm not sure I understood the question, Bill.
Do you know what is the expected budget for this call?
Right now, we don't know. And one of the questions in the RFI is about financing the hydrogen valley. So also an information that we're looking for, especially on hydrogen valley in Israel, according to Israel size and Israel manufacture and consuming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Lior, is your turn. I want to introduce you with Professor Lior Elbaz from Bar Ilan University and the head of the Israeli Hydrogen Association. Lior, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Dorit, and the rest of the organizers for inviting me here. It's always a pleasure to be part of this wonderful community that you've built. So I would like here to basically show a summary of definitions and a status that came out from the International Energy Agency and the European Commission on hydrogen valleys. So to begin, I would like to show the projections for consumption of hydrogen by different sectors in the near future and the far future. And as you can see here to the left, in the far future, we expect to see a rise of more than 500% in consumption of hydrogen. Most of it, or most of the growth is associated with the growth in mobility-related hydrogen energy, and then industry is always going to be part of the hydrogen demand sector. As we could see, also accordingly, we'll need to increase the manufacturing capabilities from practically nothing today. If you look to the right side figure of about 0.5 gigawatt to more than three orders of magnitude higher by 2050. But if we look only around the corner at around 2030, we need to increase the manufacturing capacity to 850 gigawatts. So the task is clear and it's very challenging. And then the question is, how do we do this? And one way to do it is to go and rely on hydrogen valleys, where the idea with hydrogen valleys is basically to have some sort of isolated islands, which later will connect to each other and form a hydrogen network throughout the continent. The idea, as far as I know, the first time came from the EU, but now we see it also in the US, and I'll show you a little bit later about this in my slides. When concerning the motivation or the main drivers for working on hydrogen in general and investing in hydrogen valleys in particular, we could say from a poll that was run by the Clean Hydrogen Joint Undertaking that most of the people, or most, and this is among a wide community, most of the people voted for climate action. So we need to use hydrogen in order to clean out our act. Later, the rest or the biggest other portion was industrial policy. And we could see this happening across industries. One interesting industry here in Israel is the fertilizers industry, specifically ICL, which knows that their products are going to be heavily taxed if they're not going to clean up their act and going to reduce their CO2 emissions. And they are looking into hydrogen as one option. So policy is indeed a very strong motivator for industry to move into to hydrogen fields. The rest are less obvious parameters for most of us, but nevertheless also important, such as job creation, energy security, which is important, and positive business case, or how people like to call it, greenwashing. But I look mostly at the top two, which are almost 50% of the votes, which are basically saying either industry policy or climate action. Across Europe, there's I think by now 54 hydrogen valleys that were approved. Only a few exist, but many are on the works or just started as part of the EU policy, which basically funds, I think nowadays at the rate of 3 to 4 hydrogen valleys each year. In the US, we see a growth also, and we see that also across other countries in the globe. And the question then is, what makes the hydrogen valley? So the first one is that to create a hydrogen valley, we need more than just one sector. It's not only a producer, it's not only an off-taker. We need to combine at least one producer, one off-taker, maybe 2 off-takers. That's the minimum. This is no longer a sort of a pilot operation. We are expecting to see a sort of small economic venture that is actually running and working continuously. I would like to see how it adds to the value chain of the whole environment around it. And then see if the feasibility of the project, if it connects to other hydrogen valleys and expands beyond just one secluded island. This is probably one of the most important slides that I'm going to show here, and it has to be to register also by the people from the Ministry of Energy. And this shows the different archetypes of hydrogen valleys as the EU defined them. We're looking at 3 different archetypes, and they are basically defined by the production capacity. So the smallest archetype is defined between 1 to 2 megawatt, and that is a closed island or a valley that produces its own hydrogen and then distributes it mostly to transportation, which is the most convenient, I would say, application, and maybe a little bit to industry, but not necessarily to industry. The second archetype is much larger. That's between 10 to 300 megawatts. And there we would like to see more and more industrial involvement in as an off-taker. And then the third archetype, which goes to a gigawatt and beyond the gigawatt, basically endlessly, is expected to also export hydrogen beyond its own use. So here are some examples of 3 different hydrogen valleys in Europe, different sizes. You could see also the investment that was made. So the smaller one here that produces about 220 tons per year, the investment was 16 million euros. Whereas the middle one is 400, and then the big one is 1 billion euros. And you can see also the amount of hydrogen that is produced by all of them. You can see also the timeline here when they started. So the start of a project for a small one was in 2017, and it completed 2 years ago, I could say now, in 2022. And the bigger it is, the longer it takes to finalize these projects. Jumping forward to the US, in the US there's been a growing interest in hydrogen. The US is a more difficult case because of its size and because of the lack of connectivity between states and also the different regulations between states, which makes everything harder and more difficult. But nevertheless, there are many, many businesses, industry, transportation, and so on that are interested in hydrogen. And that brought what we call today the hydrogen hubs. So I think on October 8th, Hydrogen Day, this is based on the molecular weight of hydrogen. It's 1008, 1.008. In American, that's October 8th almost. Or should have been January 8th. Anyway, Biden signed a $10 billion check for 8 hydrogen hubs across the US. That $10 billion are expected to be leveraged by the states and industry by a factor of 6 or 7, to around $60 to $70 billion. These checks are already signed. These projects are already started running 3 months ago, and I expect that we'll hear more and more of them as they proceed. I know that there are some Israeli companies that are, dipping into some of these projects. I think Yam would correct me later if I'm wrong, but I think Doral is also part of one of these hubs. So this is very interesting. I'm personally sort of involved in the California hub, and that is an interesting case. California hub is basically led by the port authorities in California. So all across the Pacific Ocean here, from San Francisco to Los Angeles and San Diego, where they want to completely turn into hydrogen-based operation. These are huge operations, and we'll see how this works. Closer to us in our region, we know about the projects in Neom, which is the closest one to us, about 70 kilometers from Eilat. A very interesting project and very high investment there. But we also see the Emirates and other countries in our region that are making big investments. You can see here the progress of the investment, either planning, procurement, or operation. But all of these are happening, and from what I hear, from more recent news that are not projected in this figure, we should expect to see more and more hydrogen valleys and operations across the Saudi Arabia Peninsula. Even closer to us, we see what's going on in the Suez Canal. Egypt signed an agreement with some major companies to produce large quantities of hydrogen. This could be called an archetype 3 type of hydrogen valley that is exporting hydrogen mainly to Europe. And with that, I would like to finish here and be happy to take a few questions if I have the time.
I think that you can write thank you, Lior. You can write the questions in the chat, and we will see in the end of the presentation if we can summarize some of the questions. Yeah, near Yemen, Saudi near Yemen is producing a lot of hydrogen. Interesting, very, very interesting.
Yeah, so we have that also.
Yeah, so thank you, Lior. I would like to continue with Mr. Eduardo Cano. Eduardo is a consultant in Adair Company, a hydrogen professional, and also establishing the Hydrogen Association around the Mediterranean. Eduardo is from Spain. And Eduardo, are you there? Yes, always on the run. Okay.
Okay, yes, sorry. Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much to invite me to this webinar. And thanks to my guys, my friends of MD International to allow me to participate. Also, today is a bank holiday in Spain because we still have our Christmas holiday, so I'm quite abroad, but it's okay. I say, okay, I'm highly interested in the project, so that's not the problem. Okay, well, first of all, I will switch off the camera, so you don't need to see my face anymore. And I send you the presentation so you can go through the slides. First of all, I introduce myself. I am the CEO of Dairy Technologies and the CEO of On Energy. There are two companies or Spanish SMEs that we work in the areas. Dairy Technologies is a defense company, and On Energy is an energy company. Where we work a lot for hydrogen projects.
יש CSB 08.
Can you hear me?
לא שומע.
לא, תסגרו בבקשה את הרמקול.
I don't see the screen, it's the only point. Okay. Okay, so well, I'm going to be very fast through this. Dairy Technologies is a defense company. We work on what is called, we work for aerospace, defense, and aeronautics. And we develop technology oriented to the more electric aircraft. You pass the slide? I don't know if I can do it. Okay, yes. Go ahead, pass it. Okay, the point is that we develop a technology that was oriented to create stable grids based on what we call distributed hybrid energy storage. The idea is to be able to manage different energy sources and energy storage systems to create highly stable grids. That was used in order to create isolated military bases, okay, at the beginning. Then, I mean, literally, what the system, the technology is about is to be able to hybridize different types of energy concepts into one huge grid. This technology was acquired by the Spanish National Grid because in Spain we have a commitment to switch off all the CO2 by 2050 and no nuclear. So we just rely on sun, wind, and natural gas that we import. Okay, so this is a bit of the concept. You cannot leverage a grid with just one type of storage. You need power, you need energy, you need different type of scales of power and energy. So we started working with hydrogen due to this concept, because hydrogen oriented to the big energy grids is going to be one of the main storage systems. In the case of Spain, it's already decided that we will store hydrogen as a grid balance. Why grid balance? Because you have sun, you have wind, but you don't have to have sun and wind when you have the need. So we need to balance the grid, and we are using nowadays batteries and ultracaps plus hydrogen, and of course batteries and ultracaps has a limit of size, but hydrogen we are working to be a, let's say, a much higher limit of size. Okay, you cannot do 20 to 200 gigawatts in batteries or ultracaps, so you need a bigger way to store the energy. Also, hydraulic is the other option, but it's very difficult to create new dams in Spain. Okay, next one. Okay, the idea of this concept is very simple, is to create a grid by zones, and each zone has its own disponibility of energy and of store. So you create what is called distributed zones on a grid, so we're able to work with small grids and with very big grids like the nationwide. Okay, and this is the key for us to integrate hydrogen in our concept, because we are participating in a lot of hydrogen valleys in order to create a stable grid to reduce the cost of hydrogen generation. Okay, so we try to keep the electrolyzers working 24/7, and we try to keep the voltage stable. In any case, you work with the different type of lines that we have in the different valleys, because each valley has its own direction. Next one. Okay, this is applicable. No, next one. That is like typical base, how we went from there to On Energy. Next one. So these we're applying to many types of business, and we have done several of them already. Farms, industries, let's say municipalities, etc. Okay, go ahead. This next one. Okay, and we're also applying it to hydrogen valleys as a concept to level the energy grid. Okay, next one. Okay, so I'm not going to tell about hydrogen because already has been highly exposed. But let's say, in our point of view, there are 2 points to add to the previous speaker, is that in Europe, let's put it I'm not going to say Europe, but probably in the southern Europe, grid stability, if we base our grids on energy, renewables energy, is based on how much energy we can store and how much power we can give to the grid in order to take the grid to a stable condition in frequency, in peaks, etc. And we know that in the case of Spain, with no nuclear and no thermal cycling, we have a must to go to hydrogen. Okay, and the second line is, as I said, we have a lot of agro here in Spain. We have a lot of fertilizing companies, and they are the most demanded as a first off-takers we have having now are the fertilizers and the oil and gas companies. Also, oil and gas companies, they use natural gas to cracking oil, and that will be cut off in the next 2 years. So they are demanding hydrogen in high volumes also. Talking about the industrial size. Next one. Okay, this is the same, what the hydrogen is doing and what the future energy sector will be based on. And of course, as we are going to have hydrogen by a scene due to the grid stability, everybody's thinking to create an economy around the hydrogen, okay? So literally, it's not, we want to create a hydrogen fuel, is that we are going to make hydrogen because we need it, so why don't we make it fuel? But more or less, it's a bit of the opposite. When people make the numbers, how to make hydrogen cheaper, you need to think what is the first use of the hydrogen, at least here in the south of Europe. And having said that, then you can understand that you need, of course, you are going to have a lot of hydrogen because you need it. So creating an economy based on hydrogen is a must in order to maximize the investment. Okay, next one. Okay, these are projects on different Spanish valleys that we have been working in. Okay, the most active are in Murcia, Algeciras, Basque region, and Galicia. Okay, and we have been very active on them. We have like different projects that has been subsidized by the Spanish government, where we have been making pilot projects based on how to use, where to implement our technology in the different hydrogen valleys. Next one. And also the same we have done at European level, okay? Getting bigger projects and applying our technology out of Spain, okay? So it's the same how we can use the hydrogen in different ways in order to maximize its economy. Next one. Okay, so what we are doing now is we are doing technical assistance, we are doing strategic studies, engineering, and project development of this type of hydrogen generation projects. Not only generation, we are helping some off-takers, we are helping some hydrogen generation investors, and we are working with several logistic companies that nowadays are energy carriers, and they want to make an evolution to the hydrogen processes, okay? And well, this is mainly what we are doing now with them, because we are not the big fishes here in Spain, as you can imagine. So we are doing a lot of support to these valleys and projects. Next one.
Eduardo, you have another 1 minute.
Okay, so I want to be fast. Okay, the problem is the timing, okay? We need very short time to develop, so that is the key of the hydrogen valleys. When in the hydrogen valleys used to have in Spain 3 years ago, it was supposed to be finished by today, but we are still on the go, okay? Because there is a lot of problems in the process to acquire permits and ambiental permits and so on. So it was like too optimistic at the first step. So we have a lot of projects in what is called green status. Okay, next one. Next one. Okay, no, next one. This is okay. Okay, next one. Next one. Okay, this is, for example, different hydrogen projects that we have had. Well, the previous one. Okay, where we are involved in hydrogen valleys. Okay, as I tell you, you have the land, the water supply, the dedicated PV or the power supply to allow the grid to be stable. Okay, so this is potentially projects that we are working on nowadays. Next one, and next one. Okay, so we found that even in Spain, all these valleys, we have a problem because we started to work on them on the subsistency status, which means we are very local, okay? And some valleys have excedents and some valleys has demands, okay? Where the problem is that those valleys are not connected even in Spain. So we created an association in order to work one step over the hydrogen valleys in order to connect different hydrogen valleys among themselves. The idea here is to establish like a Mediterranean connection, trying to connect the Middle East, North Africa with the European backbone. Next one. Okay, go ahead. Next one is next one. I want to show the European backbone. Next one. Next one.
Next.
Yeah, this is okay.
This
If
one.
you go, no, this is generation. No, next one. I want is the European backbone. Okay, the European backbone is the gas. Next one. This is already said. We have a lot of sand, etc. Okay, here you are. Okay, this is the European backbone. Okay, this is what is being established by the oil and gas companies, mainly the gas companies in Europe, in order to integrate the capacity to generate hydrogen into the way to deliver the hydrogen into Europe, mainly Central and Eastern Europe, which is where we have a lack of potential generation. Okay, so the European backbone is already established to have a backbone from Italy, Spain, and one from Greece, and then the one from Rotterdam. Everybody listening about the Rotterdam guys because they want to be the only hub in the project, let's put it this way. And then you have one from the Northern Sea. Okay, the problem here is that, of course, Rotterdam has advanced quite fast in the development of not only of their valley, also of the backbone concept, while Spain, the B, A, and E, which is the southern ones, we are still a bit delayed if you work with against Rotterdam. So now there's a lot of discussion into working a point-to-point or a hub-to-hub. So we are more on the way to working a point-to-point. So what we want, next slide.
And this will be the last one, Eduardo.
No, then the other one, next one, because this already said.
Okay. Next one,
one.
Next one.
Now, next one, the one with the big.
Yes,
this one. Okay. So
And
our
this is
idea
the
of
last
H2
one.
Nostrum. Okay, no problem. It's you're going to the key. So here is what we're doing on H2 Nostrum, which is an association of, as I told you, North Africa, Middle East countries, in order to join our capacity of production, and not only capacity of production, to understand our demands and to connect via ports and some infrastructure to the main backbones of the European connection. Okay, so the idea is to connect, as you said before, Suez Canal, for example, we are discussing with them. We are connecting also with Morocco and Algeria, also in Greece. The idea is to create this type of capacity or joint capacity of the Mediterranean environment. Of course, we are less pragmatic than the northern guys, it is true. We have to overcome our political and cultural discrepancies. But talking about the way to work, this is a massive need of the way to integrate projects that can work point to point and create a massive business to the European corridors. Okay, so thank you for your time. I think my contact, Dorit and Abibit, has my contact, so do not hesitate to write me or call me with any doubt you have. Okay, the rest is just talking about how the association works. That is, again, something you can check it like any association. Okay.
Thank you, Eduardo. Thank you very much. And thank you took your time in your holiday. I wish you a happy 2024 year, and hopefully we'll have some peace and quiet in our region so we can cooperate in this dream of cooperation in hydrogen in Middle East and Mediterranean together. Before I'm passing the lecture to Yam from Dorel, I want to share with you a map. And this is to step down from Europe to Israel, and then from Israel to Yotvata Hydrogen Valley that Yam and Dorel is promoting and building right now in Israel. This is the map of the Negev, because our Negev, southern part of Israel, is long, so I divided to two maps. But you can see the infrastructure, and I see Yair from Natgaz here, from the National Gaza Authority in Israel. We put together all the planning for infrastructures, for pipes, gas pipes, the connection between all the pipes existing and the planning pipes that are going to be planned to come, to be built. And you see that our Negev is somehow connected and have a lot of potential to carry the hydrogen if we'll produce green hydrogen in the whole east of the Negev, east part of the Negev. So you have a plan in Eilat, the southern part, where you have a distribution plan for gas pipes. And if I'm not mistaken, and Yair, you can correct me from Natgaz, all the gas pipes, the new ones, can carry also 100% hydrogen, and we can mix hydrogen and gas together. I hope I'm not mistaken. So, sorry?
It's correct.
It's true. So nice to hear it. So we have distribution lines in Eilat that is planned as approved, and we have along all the Arava Valley, we have from the south to the Dead Sea, we have an infrastructure path where we are planning to put distribution pipes of gas, and then you are coming into the old East Negev, where you have various of categories of pipes that can go into the Negev, into Ashdod, and out to Egypt. You see in Kerem Shalom and places that it's hard to speak about them as business as usual, but in Kamehin. So we have infrastructures for hydrogen. So if in Israel we are going or want to produce hydrogen, we have the carriers, we have how to use them. And then I want to show you another map, and this is another slide that this will be the last one, just a second. And this is the slide. And the slide shows that after 2030, I took all the plans and statutory programs for producing solar energy in the Negev. And right now we are here. Now we have another 2 gigawatts that the Noga company gave us with a lot of storage and substation upgrade and so on. But from 2030 to 2050, we have more than 2 gigawatts that cannot go into the grid right now. So the government has to choose between 2 ways, or 3 maybe. One, to build a new grid, or maybe this one can be our hydrogen potential in the Negev. I'm putting here it as a question. And now as a question. I don't want to take Yam's time. So Yam, please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dorit.
I'm sorry, can I ask something before you proceed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you were talking about infrastructure in the Negev to produce hydrogen. Okay, what is the production cost? And this is first question. And the second question is it a green hydrogen or is it or whatever kind of a hydrogen it is?
I heard your question. In the end of the lectures, I will answer it, okay? Or someone would like to answer it, okay? Not now.
Because if it's not competitive with the production of hydrogen in Israel using SMR, which is $2 per kilo, then it's all dreams. And I'm sorry to say.
No, it's okay. But let's continue, and afterwards we'll we'll give you an answer, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
I'll try to answer you, Jacob, but you know, it's not a competitive between gray hydrogen to green hydrogen in terms of level cost of hydrogen right now, but we assume that in the future when you will need to pay tax, carbon tax, and you will enjoy a tax credit from the Ministry of Energy, so it will be competitive. But first of all, thank you. I will present the first green hydrogen valley in Israel, which built by Doral. Few words about Doral. Doral is a public company, so I have to say the disclaimer about our about all the restrictions that include in public company, like confidentiality and inside information. And I will dive just right now to introduce Doral hydrogen. So first of all, we established Doral hydrogen 2 years ago because Doral, as a renewable energy company, believes that the green hydrogen will be the fuel of the future. And there is no other chance to achieve the net zero emission goals without hydrogen. And there is a lot of argument if the hydrogen will take part of 5%, 10%, or 30% from the global energy. But we're sure that it will take a major part in the global energy transition. So basically, we are an entrepreneurial platform to develop green hydrogen and green ammonia production facilities. We established the first green hydrogen project in Israel. We did 2 strategic investments via Doral Tech, our tech venture. One in H2Pro. It's an Israeli startup that Rotem can present it in other webinar. And the other investment was in Verdagy. Verdagy is an American company that produces anion exchange membrane electrolyzers. We have a global pipeline, so Doral Hydrogen has projects in Australia, in United States. By the way, as Liaor mentioned, we are part of the Mach2 Hydrogen Hub. It's the Midwest Hydrogen Hub. This hub was granted by the federal government, and we are the green hydrogen producers over there. We have a couple of projects in and daughter company in Netherlands. We have an activity in Spain, Canada, and of course in Israel. We work with all Doral's department. And we exploit their experience in renewable energy production. And we support, again, via Doral Tech, researchers in the Technon and Bar-Ilan University about hydrogen carrier, hydrogen storage, and of course, hydrogen production. This is our plan for the first green hydrogen valley in Israel. So as you understood from the lecture of Liaor, hydrogen valley need to include the production and the consumption of the hydrogen. So we plan to build a PV plant. The PV plant is already exists. We completed the construction 3 months ago. We've got a total capacity of 16 megawatt, and we plan to extend it to 30 megawatt. The electrolysis will start the construction at the end of 2024. We plan to build a pipeline between the electrolysis site to the dairy of Yotvata. It will be built by INGL, Natgaz. There is an industrial area that plans to be developed just next to our site, and we hope that some of the hydrogen consumer will build their factories over there. And we also plan to build hydrogen refueling station with Sonol on the pipeline, on the Road 90, because we believe that, few of the 2,500 trucks that drive over this point every day will stop to refuel themselves with hydrogen in the next few years. The first phase of the project will be a 40 kilowatt, and we will produce between 15 to 30 tons per year. The second phase will use all the energy from the existing PV plant. It will be between 15 to 20 megawatt, and we will produce around 2,000 tons per annum. And the third phase will be 30 megawatt and a little bit more, and we will produce more than 3,000 tons. The main industrial application will be Yotvata dairy that will consume around 800 tons per year. At the beginning, it will be blended with natural gas up to 20%. And we hope that when we will install all the capacity of the electrolysis sites, so they will rely just on 100% hydrogen. The pipeline will be high-pressure pipeline. It will start from 40 bars, and we will reduce the pressure to 2 bars. We will have some storage, high-pressure storage, 350 bars. And we got some grant from the Ministry of Energy, and we have a strategy. We have a hydrogen purchase agreement with Yotvata Dairy for more than 20 years. So the site will look like that. We'll have the electrolyzers and the balance of plant. We will use solar fans and solar covers, but we will consume the energy from the PV plant just next to our facility. Medium pressure storage around between 40 to 80 bars, around 250 kilograms. The electricity control panel and the water storage and the water purification. This will be the pipeline. It will be an underground pipeline that will be built by INGL. It's around 1.5 kilometers. On this pipeline, we plan to build a refueling station. There is purification and compressors to install the hydrogen into trailers and to take it to another consumers around the area. High pressure storage, of course, to increase the capacity that we can store in the site, and loading and maintenance area. And we plan to build also a lab, control center and visitor center to all the visitors that want to learn a bit about hydrogen. In 2022, with Eduardo from Spain and with a lot of companies from Israel and from Spain, we submit a proposal to the European Union. The main idea was to produce hydrogen in Israel, in Yotvata, and to produce hydrogen in Spain, but also to trade between the countries, to bring hydrogen, compressed hydrogen by ship from Spain to Israel, and to use it in Ashkelon, in the electricity company, Israeli electricity company site in Ashkelon, to produce electricity. We wasn't granted, so we submitted another proposal in 2023. It was for a different grant for a small-scale hydrogen valley, which is supposed to produce only 500 tons per year. That was the company that took place in the the submission. The first phase, as I said before, it will be a 400 kilowatt, and we.
You have one more minute.
Yeah. It will be ready to build in the next few months, and we hope that we will start to produce the hydrogen in the beginning of 2025. And to complete all the stories, so first of all, this slide is steered to the Ministry of Energy. So just for your information, the development of Green Hydrogen Valley is approximately 3 years and maybe more. The first step is, of course, building we believe that it's the first step to building the hydrogen ecosystem in Israel, and it's necessary. But building Hydrogen Valley costs something like 200 million shekels. So if you plan to finance less than 100 million shekels, so I would suggest you not to do that and to skip on that mission, because no one will gamble on take this responsibility on its shoulders. So governmental support is necessary, and regulation and standard is also something that must be defined, because today there is no regulation about hydrogen in Israel, and you need to invite the will from the beginning. If someone has some questions, so I can answer now or later.
Not now, later, okay? Because we had maximum 15 minutes, and we have 2 speakers. We have Shelly from Gensel. Thank you, Yam, very much. We have Shelly from Gensel. She will present herself, and afterwards we have Asaf Aharan from the Innovation Authority that will speak about the IZARD, but it will be very fast. The IZARD proposals or option to submit. So please, Shelly, and then Asaf, and then we'll give 2 or 3 questions and we'll summarize. Thank you. Shelly? You are on mute. You are on mute, Shelly.
Okay, there. I think I have it now. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We hear you.
Okay, very good. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Dorit, for the opportunity to be part of the conversation. I'm Shelly from Gensel. Gensel is a huge advocate of multiple small-scale hydrogen valleys, and we are very glad to be part of the different projects that Doal and Eilat are working on in Batan, in the Southern Arava, and other areas where hydrogen valleys can definitely bring benefit and accelerate the hydrogen economy. Hydrogen valleys are on the agenda in Israel largely because we need to close the gap between the target.
Full screen.
It's
the first screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To duplicate screen.
Take out the duplicate.
Yes.
I don't know.
Full screen is not seen.
The full screen isn't working?
Full screen.
Never mind.
Go to display setting and change the main screen on the top bar.
What? I just stopped share. Okay.
You're missing minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. What should I? I know you have to do a display panel. Basically, okay, we wanted to talk about the fact that we are an off-taker of hydrogen as part of hydrogen valleys, which bring together producers and producers, consumers, and all the players across the hydrogen supply chain. Hydrogen valleys are important in Israel because we are trying to close quickly the gap between the target. Oh no, can you see us now?
No.
No.
Never mind.
All right, now?
We can see you, but not the presentation.
Not the presentation. Oh, just wonderful. I'm sorry. I know what I have to do. Give me a second. My apologies.
Maybe we'll give Asaf and afterwards coming back to you.
Whatever you like. See?
No, what you
Can you see it now?
No.
no, because you didn't make share screen. You have to share the screen.
Oh, are you serious? Oh, goodness. We only spend all day on Zoom. You would think it wouldn't be such a...
I can share it, Shelley. Here it is. Okay, Shelley.
Yes, okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to say, okay, so as I'm saying, hydrogen can close the gap more quickly between our target of 30% and the supply of 11.8% in Israel in 22. So Israel was really looking to catch up with the European Union and the United States and using the hydrogen strategy and roadmap by focusing on hydrogen valleys to speed growth of the local hydrogen economy. Most importantly, the hydrogen valleys can help the Israeli energy sector at risk, not only from climate crisis, but also from terror, war, and boycotts, because hydrogen can contribute to diversification and distribution of energy resources. And using hydrogen fuel cells as off-takers in hydrogen valleys, you can really increase energy independence and security. Jensel, go to the next slide. I can't even see you. Okay. Jensel is taking a difficult path to solve real-world energy problems, and we've developed a diverse portfolio of alkaline fuel cells and related products based on catalyst chemistry. We're working to fearlessly fuel the future with reliable.
I still see the first slide.
Sorry?
I still see the first slide. I don't see the slides changing.
Can you go to the next slide, Aviv? No, go back one more. One back. Yeah, that's all. Just to show you that the basis of who Jensel is and the years we've invested in developing fuel cells and related hydrogen technologies. Next slide. Next one. So Jensel's vision is global. In order to be able to continue to enable the world to consume power at the levels we need to keep our systems running, and at the same time eliminate greenhouse emissions, we need hydrogen to enable solutions that can meet both criteria in parallel. On the one hand, zero emission, and on the other hand, resilient, uninterrupted, continuous power that delivers energy anywhere, small systems anywhere. And we're calling this approach Green FSG. Next slide. Jensel was founded to leverage hydrogen to resolve today's urgent energy problems, and applying our solutions on the market to meet the different use cases we faced. We've found all kinds of challenges in hydrogen supply chain, and therefore have evolved our technologies to move from hydrogen to power, to ammonia to power, and most recently water to power, which is our process for novel approach to synthesizing green ammonia. And we will not stop until we can deliver affordable end-to-end zero emission solutions that generate power anywhere. Next slide. Already today, Jensel has systems that are supplying, no, the one back, just one back. So today our fuel cells are running telecom towers, substations, and being used now to charge EVs using commercial products around the world. And we've discovered in severe weather incidents incidents that are causing more power outages. The need for sustainable backup power has increased, the need for off-grid power. At the same time, as mentioned before, renewable resources are intermittent, and you need a powerful medium for storage like hydrogen to enable to balance the renewables and keep power stability. This is where hydrogen molecules should be replacing electrons. Next slide. Next slide. As Dorit mentioned, she was talking about the situation in the Negev in the north and in the south. Here in Israel, we have a situation where power production, green power production, is much more available in the north and the south, and the electricity transmission capacity is constrained to move it to the center where all that electricity is really needed, and that's where hydrogen can come in. Our energy dense hydrogen and hydrogen carriers can enable long duration storage and transport. So one of the ways to do this is by using hydrogen valleys to create microgrids. Small distributed energy resources can be used in microgrids in the south and in the north to supply power, energy independence, and security while avoiding emissions. The other issue of EVs, here in Israel, the number of EVs entering the market is growing exponentially, and in order to charge them without overloading the already busy grid, we need alternative solutions. Fuel cells can facilitate off-grid EV charging, and that's another project looking at involving also in...
שבוע הבא יום חמישי יש לי פגישה עם...
תשתיקו את מי שלא...
I'll try and finish quickly. Just talking about the many systems that you have to need continuous power for in terms of alarms, border surveillance, and charging emergency fleets. All of those things require immediate local power, power independence, and security. And we were really impressed. Also, Dorad talked mainly about the Hydrogen Valley project in Yodvata, but now the project that they're working on in the Jordan Valley to produce green ammonia is also a great proof point how hydrogen and hydrogen valleys are going to enable Israel to meet its energy needs with moving and achieve our green energy targets. Hydrogen valleys can expedite the planning and execution of such projects, and syncing the activities of different valleys will improve logistics and economics of the fueling infrastructure. So also, as the gentleman from Spain talked about the different Mediterranean and regional projects, we're looking to cooperate with our partners in Egypt and other Middle Eastern countries where we can take advantage of the economy of scale and combine the solar power, the lower cost solar power in our neighborhoods together with Israeli high-tech fuel cell technologies and related hydrogen technologies to improve LCOEs, reduce fuel costs, and increase ROI and other KPIs. So basically, we are really excited to be part of to see the developments that the Ministry of Energy is taking to facilitate more hydrogen valleys in Israel, which will enable Israel to achieve our green energy targets and accelerate the transition. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. And the last one before questions. Saf, you are here?
Yes, I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, can everybody see it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, now you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. If you know there's a 70 or to 100% chance of rain tomorrow, will you take an umbrella? If you know there's a 70 to 100% discount on something you really want to buy, will you buy it? And if you have an opportunity to collaborate with strong European partners on hydrogen project and get funding of 70 to 100%, if you're not convinced, then I'll throw in another 25% as the overhead. And there's no royalties and no equity. So good evening. So for those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Asaf, and I'm the program director and national contact point for all topics you see in the slide. I work for the Israeli Europe R&I director, or ISED, as we belong, and we belong to the Israel Innovation Authority. One of the main responsibilities in ISED is to promote participation of Israeli entities in Horizon Europe. Today, I want to talk to you very quickly about participating in the European Clean Hydrogen Partnership, which some of the projects that Liaor showed, like hydrogen valleys, are funded by this partnership. On January 17, the calls that you see here are supposed to be officially published. There are 20 topics or call proposals, as we call them. The total budget for them for 2024 is 117.5 million euros, and the deadline is April 17. One major change this year is that all of the calls will be lump sum. I don't have time to explain, but if you want to hear more about it, I'll be happy to say what it means. It basically is supposed to make it easier for coordinators throughout the project. It will take a little bit more time to write the proposal. And you later on, if you get the slide, you have a link for all the topics. So very basically, the conditions of participating and getting this and being part of a consortia, you need at least 3 entities, a company, academia, NGOs, one entity. So you need 3 of them, and from 3 different countries, and one of them has to be a member state. And you can see on the flags which are the member state. Israel considered to be an associated country. And you need 1 coordinator to lead this consortia. So we offer help in finding a topic and a partner search. We offer help of Israel Innovation Authority experts for concept development and proposal feedback. As you can see, the red team and concept development. And the Innovation Authority offer a grant for companies, as you can see in the slide. And in addition to using, you can use it for consultants. You can also use it for membership. As you can see, this partnership is between the European Commission and 2 other networks. The Hydrogen Europe is for industry, and Hydrogen Europe Research is for academia. So this grant can be used by companies to take part in Hydrogen Europe. There's currently, I think, 2 Israeli companies. Jensel is one of them, and there's another one. And other companies that want to join can use this grant to pay the money that you need to pay to be part of this partnership. So as I said, the calls should be officially published in January 17. On January 26th, there's an info day and an opportunity for those who will attend in person to pitch your project idea and get direct feedback. Get connected with community or partners. You can also attend the event virtually. Companies that will attend the event in Brussels can also submit expenses to the Innovation Authority, part of the grant that I mentioned. And one more event that our British friends are doing virtually on February 1st is an online event. It's also an opportunity to find partners to apply for the calls that you saw. Next steps. What you should do next is to use the links that I put in the presentation, decide which call you're interested in, and then use the links to register to the events that I mentioned. And also decide if you want to join a partnership and use the money that the Israel Innovation Authority give to be part of this partnership. I'll be happy to take questions if there is any time left.
Dorit, mute.
You can barely see me.
Yes, the political. Thank you, Asaf. A political question. What is Israel's situation in the EU right now to submit grants? I'm not sure.
Israel signed. I'm sorry you can't see me. The light turned off. But I guess I see you can hear me. The political situation not supposed to affect officially. But however, we signed an agreement with the European Commission. They're obligated for us. They even in the beginning of the war were willing to push deadlines for 2 other programs, which is something they've never done before. So it's not that everybody is against us. We are surprised to see a lot of good reactions and support from our friends and other organizations. And we believe that it's not supposed to affect that much. So, and part of our reason, I mentioned we're supposed to encourage as many entities to apply, but on part of our other mission is to be on guard and see if there is such a thing that we believe political influence on evaluators. So this is our other job.
Okay, thank you. Right now I have 2 main questions that I can elaborate, and this is the time we have. Other questions are in the chat, and I understood that also there are some answers in the chat. After this webinar, I will take all the questions and will write a summary of answers. But two main questions I want to address and to read to you. So the first one, I think it's very important question. Can you please elaborate on the steps to make green H2 hydrogen cost efficient and the forecasted time frame for its becoming commercial? I will take this part of the question. So the answer that Lior wrote me before he left, that the two most significant parameters that control the production price are the cost of the electricity. If we are speaking about solar electricity in North Africa or Arava or Negev, Israel, so we can reach very low prices of direct solar electricity, and the capex, of course, of the electrolyzers. And today, the production of green hydrogen is somewhere around, in Israel, it costs around $3 per kilogram of a kilo of hydrogen. This can be lowered by drop the electrolyzers price, which is project within this decade, to allow reaching cost primarily of, to reach the price of gray hydrogen. So the price of electricity and the price of the capex of the electrolyzers. Yam, you want to add something? Or if there is someone who wants to add something to this question?
I think that today $3 per kilogram is a bit optimistic.
$5.
Yeah, the capacity factor is also something that influence about the price.
Okay.
Don't forget the capacity factor of solar in Israel, it's only 1,800 hours per year. So,
Sorry, you said green hydrogen at $5 per kilo?
Around between $3 to $5. Yes.
It depends the capacity.
And the gray hydrogen reach $1?
It's better to ask
It's better to ask
on Bazan, but it depends the size of the facility.
Gray hydrogen in Israel by Bazan is about $2 per kilo.
$2 per kilo?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear different numbers, a lower number, but I think gray hydrogen price is like green hydrogen is dedicated. Most of the cost coming from the electricity, gray hydrogen, most of the cost coming from the natural gas or methane cost. So when the cost is going up, the cost of the gray hydrogen is going up as well. Just to add on Lior's answer, one on the capacity factor, which we do not have in Israel, is wind. Wind add a lot of capacity factor and honestly reduce the price. We do not have that in Israel, and obviously the efficiency of the electrolyzer, which is also affect dramatically the price. You can think about it as capacity factor as well. You know, if you use more, if you get more hydrogen from the same amount of electricity, or you use more hours, so it's both capex, opex, and the cost of electricity, which is the opex.
Okay, thank you. And the last question, and then we are finishing. What is the, maybe Rotem, you can help us, what is the efficiency for converting the PV to H2 and then back to kilowatt hour? So we are losing a lot in this story.
Again, it depends what type of machinery used, what type of electrolysis. The go-to number is about half, so you are losing half of your 50%. Efficiency in a round trip, even a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to thank you all. And this,
I'm sorry.
Yes, Yair.
Yeah, just half a minute of an update from our side. Yair from INGL, the Israeli TSO for natural gas. we have officially been approved to convey hydrogen in our system, which is a good step. And consequently, we already published an RFI, request for interest, not only information, in participating with us to building new hydrogen valleys in Israel. And we are talking about a little bit of larger scale hydrogen valleys than only pilot projects. So please feel free to look into our website and find the RFI. That's all. Sorry for cutting you off.
Very good, very interesting. Thank you, Yair. And I think that this webinar is a really promo for the Eilat conference. There we are going to talk a lot about this hydrogen. Hope that all our guests, foreigner guests, most of them would come, even though we have this situation right now in Israel. And I think it will be very interesting to talk a lot about this issue. We have a huge potential here. We have to see how we make it much more effective and try to get into it if we want to reach low carbon energy in Israel. So thank you all for this evening. Thank you, Amos, and see you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you, Dorit. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will you send us the recording, please?
Yes.
We will publish it on the
We'll
website.
publish the recording and also answers to the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.